Hi everybody, it's Julessa, and this week we're going to learn how to do reticulation on sterling silver. Now reticulation can be done with a special sheet called 820, and there's actually several different ones, but today and this week we're going to work on sterling silver because more than likely that's what you have in your stash. So let's get to the bench. So the first thing you want to do before you get to the reticulation is do what they call depletion silvering, and what that is you heat the metal up until it turns that matte white color, and that's bringing the fine silver up to the surface. So you want to do at least 7 to 10 rounds of that to bring enough of the fine silver to the surface that you actually have 2 different layers of metal. You've got the sterling silver in the middle and the fine silver at the top, and what that is, or what that does, is it creates 2 separate melting temperatures. So when you heat it up, it will actually buckle and curve and make these little hills and valleys. So you need to do that first. I've already done 4 rounds of this. I've still got 6 more rounds to go, but I wanted to show you what I do with it. You can see it's turning to kind of a matte color, and that's what I want because I'm bringing up the copper portion of the sterling silver, so it's releasing that copper and creating a fine layer of fine silver. And I do that on both sides. Once you've brought the fine silver up, you can quench it and pickle it, and then we'll go to the sink and clean it up just a little bit. Okay, so the piece is out of the pickle, and I'm going to take a brass brush and a little bit of soap and brush all the burnish. It's actually burnishing the fine silver down onto the metal. So I'm going to use a little bit of soap, a little bit of water, and I'm going to burnish it. And you want to do this between each of your rounds of depletion silvering. So now you can see it's nice and bright silver again. And we're going to go back to the torch and raise the fine silver once more. Okay, so now I've done all the depletion gilding and it's time to do the reticulation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat up the silver to the point where it's almost melting. And then we'll see the rivers and the lakes and the valleys supporting itself in the metal. Now, as we're heating it, we're getting 2 different temperatures. As I said before, on the inside, we're getting 1 temperature of the sterling silver, and then on the outside, we're getting the temperature of the fine silver. And you can see it's already starting to bubble. Get it all the way over to the corners. There we go. Now we're just going to let it sit for a couple of minutes and cool off on its own, and then I can show you what it looks like. All the black oxides are the sterling silver that's come up in between the fine silver, so I'm going to quench it and then I'm going to pickle it, and then we'll show you what it looks like after it's been quenched and pickled. Once you've done the reticulation, you want to take and brass brush this again with a little bit of water and soap. So we're going to do that now. And what this does is it brings out the look and the textures that you get from the reticulation. Okay, I'm going to take it back to the bench and show you up close what it looks like. So this is what the reticulation looks like after it's been burnished. And you can see there's lots of little hills and valleys and some really interesting textures. Even on the back side, we've got a little bit going on here too. But the most important side is the side that we heated up, and you can see it's just beautiful, beautiful texture. So in this week's video, we learned how to do reticulation on a piece of sterling silver. Now it brought up all of the fine silver to the surface and created 2 layers of temperature change. That way, when you overheated the metal, when it cooled, you had restriction on the top layer and a slower restriction in the middle layer, which caused all the nice little hills and valleys. So hopefully this was helpful for you. And if so, give me a like down below. And if you have questions, leave them in the comments below. I'd love to answer them. Thank you everybody for being with me this week, and I will see you next week. Bye.